Good day, everyone. My name is Haziq Mohammed. Today, I will be presenting my research title on the triangulating a mixed method approach to design a sustainable solar energy decision-making framework, a Malaysian residential perspective. For these presentations, I have actually outlined five contents to everyone. First of all is actually introduction, research gap and method and motivations. Third is methodologies. Fourth is findings and discussion. Last but not least, the conclusion and also the future directions. Let we move on towards to the first subtopic, which is introductions. In terms of the context of the study, let me actually emphasize or highlight the chronology of the solar energy development for household consumer in Malaysia. In early stage, in years 1999, the World Bank has encouraged for the Asian countries or to the worldwide to move to the renewable energy. However, from Malaysia perspective, we only take up this initiative from the World Bank starting on February 2004 and has been approved in Parliament in December 2010. From that particular moment, our energy movement has been actually expanded starting from 2011 with FIT, with tariff, and moving on to the net energy metering starting from 2016 up until now. So in total, we have three cycles of net energy metering program. So in terms of the NEM quota allocation by SEDA, we can see the growth of the allocations that given towards the residential or the household consumer, starting in 2016, whereby we already have it in 24 megawatt AC, and it has been consistent up until 2020. Based on that, the government has been oversees the particularly on the part of the growth and also the innovations of the solar industry in Malaysia. With that, it has been increased the locations from 2021 up until 2023 with 150 megawatt AC of the locations. In the year of 2024, the government has been increased another additional 100 megawatt AC, actually in the sense of the take-up rates to be increased and also to be adopted by the consumer. The total of years of the NEM allocation has been accumulated into 370 megawatt AC. Out of 370 megawatt AC, at the end of the year of 2024, we have reached about 199 megawatt out of 370 in 2024, which means is we can see the growth of 53.84% from the initial that has been introduced back in 2016. And in the recent year, 2024, our minister Nick Nazmi has announced that we have the incentive whereby the rebates of 4,000 ringgit to be given to the household or the residential who adopt and also adapt the solar energy system. So, what is the problem based on this context of the study? Basically, we can see even though we have a growth of the particulars on the take-up rates in solar energy system in terms of the household consumer. But then if you look into the graph, as the first graph I would like to highlight it in current SS adoption for the rooftop in Malaysia, whereby this is comprises with residential and also commercial and industrial, whereby we are actually expected in 2025 we will reach about 2,400 megawatt AC. However, at the end of 2024, we only achieve 1,000 megawatt AC, whereby we are actually have a gap to achieve on this particular capacity is 1,400 until the end of 2025. If we look into a small scale, as what have been actually emphasized in this study, which is on the residential and also household consumer. If you look at the NEM right yet, the total allocations is actually 250 megawatt AC from 2021 to 2024. Apologize on the mistake uh, uh, apologize on the mistake at the title there. It's supposed to be 2021 up until 2024. The total allocation is actually 250 and quota applied to 100, quota approved is actually 177. So whereby the remaining of the quota to be achieved by the end of 2024 is 93 megawatt AC. It's equivalent to 37% of the shortage to achieve the targeted in 2024. Even though it looks quite minimal, less than 50%, but as we can see that to achieve the RE mix, to achieve the SDG Sustainable Development Goals in 7 and also 13, and also with the directions of the minister in terms of our roadmap, energy roadmap, whereby we need to have like 31% by 2025, 2035, 40% 2014. So this is quite concerned if we doesn't tackle this issue at the early stage. Whereby for this study, I have actually implemented two kind of approaches, which is mixed method approach. I did the qualitative and also quantitative approach as well for this study. So whereby I using the philosophy of the epistemology, the pragmatism, it is suitable for the mixed method. And in terms of the qualitative, I have actually did exploratory studies, whereby these participants will consist on 9 participants, and at the end of this study, I will move towards to survey. So this survey is actually we obtain from the 9 participants that has been interviewed earlier stage. The techniques and procedure for the exploratory study, I am using the thematic analysis, and in the phase 2, I'm using the AHP analysis. So in terms of the qualitative phase, I have inclusive the criteria of the participants to be my respondents. The first inclusion, they need to live at the landed house. Second, they need to already install the solar panel. And then third, they need to be in NEM 3.0 program. The reason why, because I would love to see and I would love to understand what is the factors and what drive for them in decision making towards to install the solar system at their household. And the next phase in quantitative, after I receive the factors, I receive the considerations, I receive the things that they take the point of the consideration to install, and I will do the ranking prioritizations. And last but not least, the outputs from these both mixed method approaches, I'll actually will look into the development of the decision making framework. In terms of the findings and also discussions, the key findings in the phase 1, which is qualitative approach, I have actually achieved in 6 major themes has been identified, which are financial viable, company credibility, service capability, regulatory feasibility, technology flexibility, and also the external influences. So based on these main 6 major things has been identified, we already actually identified the sub things that actually supported towards to the 6 major themes that has been identified over here. So this is a key finding for phase 1, and then I move towards whatever the factors and also sub-factors that I have already identified in this phase 1. I move to phase 2. So as you can see on the left hand side is actually the main criteria or the main factors: the financial, company, external, technologies, service, and also regulatory feasibilities. And if you can see at the sub criteria is the criteria that's supporting towards to the development of the main criteria. As we can see, what I would like to highlight it in this AHP result or analytical hierarchy process, in terms of the GR, which is global ranking, it can be identified that the first place of ranking towards to the consumer or household preference or criteria or factors is actually to look into the operation and maintenance of the solar system itself. And the second ranking is actually goes to technology flexibility, whereby the energy performance and efficiency. This is most of the excerpt that have been interviewed. They are actually concerned on how the system is going on, how good they are, and then how long they can sustain. How actually this generation of the electricity can be actually meet the proposed in the can meet whatever has been proposed in the proposal. So this is the things that they are actually concerned, and this is the factors that they are actually look into it. And if you're talking about the phenomenon and also the previous study mentioned about the installation cost, but based on the percent who are already installed, they're ranking the installation cost at the global ranking number 5. Okay, so this is ranking as overall, but then if we look into main criteria, I have actually highlighted into two categories whereby the service capabilities has been the main objective as the main criteria that people are looking into it. It consists of 26.07% as the first or top main criteria, and the second place will be financial viability, whereby it's actually 24.79%. So based on the output result from the phase 1, identification the themes and also the sub-themes, and I have also already ranking and prioritized the sub-criteria and also the main criteria towards to the most prioritized to the least prioritized towards to the consumer preference. At the end of the day, what I would like to do for this study is actually to help the consumer to do a very informed decision making, number one. Number two, in terms of the provider itself, to do strategies and how to attract and how to accelerate the take-up rates and also the adoptions of the solar system in their household. And this is actually, I have highlighted and I have outlined 7 main steps that needed. This is actually what I did based on the output, the triangulation output from the phase 1 and also phase 2. And it has been covering up the most of the items over here. And last but not least, in terms of the conclusion and also future directions, the key decision-making criteria is basically service capability and also financial viability. And for the future research, I would actually suggest that this can be tested in the cross-regional replications in Southeast Asia. Reason why? Because of we are in the Asian, we receive the same amount of sunlight. We are at the tropical horizon, so it's good for us to test it whether this decision making is the same behavior towards to each particular countries. And the next future recommendation will be on the policy scenarios modeling, and it also needs to do a comparative whether from net adopters and also adopters that already adopts the solar system. And last but not least, the technologies integration and also innovation to see how the impactful of these remote monitoring, the smart home technologies that can actually incorporate with the solar system to be accessed and to see what was the added value can be done for the future. So at the end of the day, so this is actually the things, the small things that I did for my research and for my studies to help not only consumer to have informed decision making, but to help also the provider to strategize the marketing strategies and for the policymakers as well to see what is the things, the needs from the consumer in order for them actually to adopt or to actually take up these technologies towards to their household. With that, I end my presentation. Thank you so much.